Now is probably as good a time as any for me to ask you about Leicester City, one of your former clubs, of course. How pleased are you to see them doing so well? It's been a remarkable story for them this season.
No, delighted for them. I know the first team coach, Craig Shakespeare, is on my course with me. Great guy. He's done a fantastic job. John Mudkin, the old academy manager, is now their technical director, so to speak, and done a fantastic job there as well. So delight for Leicester. But a lot to be learned. You look at the way they finished last season. They were doomed, and they had a tremendous run to avoid relegation, and they've maintained that momentum, and they've hit the ground running, and everyone's expecting to fall off, and they've maintained it. And their weekend result against Manchester City, all credit to them. So now you look at the games, Arsenal versus Leicester has been a huge game in the Premier League. So they've done a fantastic job, but we've got to look and learn from it and see what they're doing well and what can we pick from it.
As a manager and coach, you mentioned about learning from that. It's incredible when you think that Leicester play a sort of straight 4-4-2 formation in the way they play the game. Is that something that a lot of coaches can maybe look at and say, well, how are they getting it so right at this moment in time?
Maybe. I think there's maybe less to it. I think you look at their loading on their players. I think the fact that Leicester aren't involved in Europe, for example. So I was looking the other day at the number of games they have between now and the end of the season. And I think it's like a game every 8.4 days, 8.5 days. And you've got, I think, 13, 14, 15, whatever it may be. I think teams like Liverpool have got 25, 26 games. So the loading on their players, the demands on their squad is significantly higher. So I think that's been a big part of it. Leicester have really used the time well. Their rest of recovery has been well structured. The support team around the first team is obviously first class in terms of medical and conditioning. They've got the nutrition right, they've got the bonding right with the players. So I think it's more basic. I don't think it's about formation. I think it's more about getting the loading right in the players and getting the unity really correct.
Claudio Ranieri has mentioned that actually the tactics isn't so much a big thing, it's about obviously suiting each player and obviously the recovery is a massive part of it as well, and that's something I'm sure you see as well.
Well, we do very similar here. I think we talk to the players about loading. It's about getting the loading right. If you look at Leicester play, they have a really high energy. They press hard, the team run hard. Passing stats have been down near the bottom, but tackles won a bit at the very top. So they press hard, they win the ball in good areas, and they punish opposition from there. So to do that, you've got to be in good physical shape. Your recovery programs must be very high, and I think they've got it right. I think they've got that side right. They give the right amount of days off, the right loading in training. So that's where you learn. I think whether it's 4-4-2, 4-3-3, 4-2-3-1, whatever it may be, that's irrelevant. I think it's more the fact that they've got obviously a striker in form in Jamie Vardy, like Mahrez playing significantly well, but they've got the loading right, and it's showing the energy with which they play.
You talk about value in the players you bring in or the signings you bring in, but they've had so much value from the players they've brought into the squad.
Yeah, done well, but they've taken a gamble, don't forget. Jamie Vardy's a fantastic success story, and everyone says, he was playing at Fleetwood, and but for every Jamie Vardy, there's a lot of boys that didn't make it. So all credit to Leicester, they paid the money, 1 point, whatever it was at the time. And he's done well and developed well. And Mahrez, again, was it 300,000? Magnificent buy, and a player I'm sure could step into most teams in the world now. So great recruitment, but again, there's a random nature. Sometimes they go right, sometimes they go wrong. So they've triggered it right. They've maintained momentum from last season. They've got the load-in right, and they just got I think look at the basics. The basics have been done really well, and all credit to them.
Does that show the importance again of the scouting network? And as you say, there is luck in every player you bring in, of course, but the fact that they have had that bit of success with the players they've brought in.
You look at it, you have a long discussion. You look at Di Maria, who player of the tournament, Champions League, outstanding player for Real Madrid, comes in, struggles in the Premier League, goes to PSG, and now analytically is in the top 10 in Europe, if not the top 3 in Europe. So you have to question this demands on the league. Sometimes they work, sometimes they don't. Family can settle, family don't settle. The climate is difficult, it's not difficult. I think there's so many factors that can contribute to success, but they've got it right, certainly in Mahrez, and it's a great talent to watch, and all credit to the recruitment team, but sometimes it is that random nature that goes your way.
And you can see the partnerships that have been developed on the pitch, that they've been fortunate to have the continuity there and not make too many changes to the team, but all across the pitch they've got good partnerships there.
I see teams that do well having utilising smaller numbers. I'm looking at the number of players. I remember we had a very low number with Brentford last season. I think Bournemouth were behind us, and we did a survey, and a number of teams got promoted or in the playoffs with teams using the least amount of players. So I think you have to keep them fit, you have to work with them, you need a support network around the first team. But if you get that right, I think it's that small, tight, lean unit which is so much more effective.
Does it again show just how important the work is that goes on behind the scenes in football, and it shows you obviously Leicester have put the building blocks in place there to have this success?
They have done, and I think we've spoken many times about the quality of the environment you create for the players. If you can get that right, if the players enjoy coming to work here I'm sure everyone listening to this would say, well, we all enjoy going to work, but the fact is they come here to work every single day. I have boxes once every 2 weeks. He is every single day. And it's the food they eat, the pitches outside, the gym work that they do, nutrition, the rehydration, the medical care, the masseur, etc. Everything is right for them to prepare to be the best they can be when they cross the white line. And that's what it's about. You're asking these players, of all the millions of guys and women that play football, it's about these are the pinnacle of the career. They're pros, they're full-time footballers, and you have to hope that when they cross the white line, they're in the best possible shape to deliver the performance that you've worked so hard to achieve.
And your team are similar to Leicester at the moment, in that they are obviously chasing silverware as well, which is a massive incentive. And how does that change things from a coach and a manager's perspective when you have got that carrot at the end dangling, if you like?
I think that's where Claudio Ranieri's expertise and experience will come into play, and likewise Craig and the rest of the staff, I'm sure. But it's about keeping the focus. It's maintaining the focus on what are we here for? We're here to achieve our goals. Now I'm sure they'll be the first to say Leicester that at the start of the season, win the Premier League wasn't their initial target. But as it's gone on, why not believe? Why not enjoy it? It may never happen again. It could happen for the next 5 years, but it may never happen again. So don't look back and go, what if? I think that's the important thing. And we've said to the players here the same thing. You know, don't look back at the end of the season and say, if only I'd done this, I could have done that better. So give everything. If it's not enough, no regrets, that's fine. But don't leave the pitch with any doubts.
And having been at Leicester and knowing the fans, just what would it mean to them to obviously go and enjoy the success this season?
I think you watch the games from the King Power Stadium, you watch the games, the atmosphere is fantastic. Even details, the pitch looks magnificent, the ground staff did a magnificent job there, so the playing surface looks outstanding. It's packed to the rafters, the atmosphere they're generating is first class as well, so the players must enjoy playing there. Now look at their fixtures. I think out of the next 8 or 9 games, I think 6 are at home or 7 at home. So it's a great opportunity for them. I really hope they do well. I'm sure they've got the quality teams breathing down their necks. There's no easy games in the Premier League, but what a fantastic opportunity they have right now.
And just finally, put you on the spot, do you think they can do it this season?
I think why not? I would have said 4 weeks ago, a long way to go, but you look at the results they've achieved at Liverpool, then Man City, which is a real shock to go there and be 3 up on a fantastic City squad is quite incredible. And now they face Arsenal. I'm not sure who's favourites.